Hi everyone, welcome back to Cheese and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I'm talking about 5 ways that I'm teaching myself to be more patient. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So, patience has never come easily to me, and that is maybe why I'm so obsessed with productivity. I always wanted to do everything like now, like yesterday. Nothing was ever fast enough, nothing was ever good enough, nothing was ever productive enough. So learning how to be patient has been a real struggle for me. And I just wanted to share the ways that I'm teaching myself to be more patient, because if you're anything like me and you have a lot of impatience around productivity, then you might be able to use these tips. Right, so number 1 is to have strong self-care. Now, what does self-care have anything to do with patience? Hear me out. Okay, so I used to think that self-care was like superfluous, and it's like, why would I do like self-care stuff when I could be using that time to be more productive? And it makes sense superficially, but actually it doesn't, because when you're burnt out, that actually benches you for way longer than if you actually just took a little bit of time to do self-care. So it sounds counterintuitive, but taking time out to do self-care and to just really make sure that you're like sleeping well, you're eating well, you're hydrated, okay, and you just feel good and you feel like yourself, that actually helps you be way more productive, because you're comfortable and you're happy and you're much more likely to have energy and motivation if you have strong self-care. I learned this the hard way. You know, honestly, when I was in first year at university, my self-care really sucked, and then I studied so hard, and then second year, although to be fair I probably could have studied a little bit harder, second year I also studied really hard, but I actually took a lot more time to do self-care, and ironically my grades went up. So proof, I guess, well, anecdotal evidence. Right, the second way is that I remember that the situation or person who's frustrating me is likely not doing it on purpose. So this is when my patience is challenged by a person or a situation. And yeah, sometimes people are annoying and they do things on purpose to annoy you, but in general, it's just the scenario, okay? And it's not personal. So whenever someone's like pissing me off, or a situation's like pissing me off, I'm like, this is not a targeted attack on me. Like 99% of the time, it's just something that's happening and they're not doing it on purpose. And the situation doesn't have like a personal vendetta against me, okay? So it's not personal. And when you learn to not take things as personally, it really helps, okay? Again, not a hard and fast rule, but it is pretty important. Number 3, patience is part of learning, okay? You wouldn't expect someone to be amazing overnight, okay? The top like musicians and like sports people and, you know, authors that you know probably had a passion from it since childhood, or they've worked really hard for a really long time to get to where they are right now. Okay, patience is part of learning, okay? And just because you're older when you start a goal doesn't mean that you necessarily won't be good. It just means that you still have to be patient. Like, whenever you start something, you're going to have to go through a period of not being as good at something when you develop the skills to be good at it, okay? So patience is part of learning, all right? Okay. Practice. I've reframed practice. I used to think of practice as something that's really difficult and boring and just kind of annoying that I had to get through in order to get to where I wanted to be. Now I've reframed it to try and think of practice as me getting incrementally better at something. So every time I practice at something, yeah, I'm not perfect, okay, but I am getting better, and every day that I practice I'm better than I was yesterday, okay? So every time I practice I am creating a better version of myself, and that's helped me be a lot more patient in the practice phase, because when I can actually see and celebrate the incremental progress, I can see that I'm actually making progress. So even if it's small, I'm better than I was yesterday and today, and I'm even better than I was the day before, okay? So recognize those small amounts of progress and be happy for yourself, because you are doing great. All right, and the 5th and final point that I want to make, and I know this is a super short video, but you're impatient right now, so you want to hear it, don't you? The 5th and final point is to allow yourself healthy outlets for your emotions. So impatience is, to some extent, pretty natural, and we all feel like impatient sometimes and frustrated sometimes. Like, it's an emotion, and don't demonize yourself for having emotions, okay? too much of it is a bad thing, but to an extent, it's definitely normal to get impatient and it's definitely normal to get frustrated. So you need healthy outlets for your emotions, whether this is like exercise or, you know, journaling is a great outlet. Sometimes I'll go to my journal and I'll be really mad, I'll be really frustrated, and I just write for half an hour and I feel so much better, okay? So allow yourself healthy outlets for your emotions. And that's better than like yelling or like being snappy with someone, okay? So when you find healthy outlets for your emotions, whether that's like exercise or whether it's journaling or whether it's therapy or whatever it is, find a nice healthy outlet for your emotions and it will really help. Like, yeah, frustration is normal, okay? And when you're frustrated, it's okay to feel frustrated. And I'm not saying that you should try and eliminate frustration from your life altogether, because frustration is a good training ground for allowing yourself to be more patient. So it can be really positive and it can be a good opportunity. So these are 5 ways I've been teaching myself to be more patient. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!